2019. I am in the Angeles National Forest. Right here is Angeles Crest Highway. I'm near Cloudburst Summit, which is over that way, which is one of the higher points on the highway. Obviously, before you get to Dawson Saddle. But I'm near mile marker 5755. I'm at this little turnout and planning on, doing some hiking, some rambling, trying to see what kind of interesting things I can get into today. Thinking about hitting Peak 7118 and maybe Buckhorn Peak or Mount Akawie. Two different names for it: Buckhorn Peak, Mount Akawie. I've done it from this little ramp right here once before. Did a little cross-country hike up here, and then made it to 7118. Then made it to Buckhorn Peak. That was a couple years ago. Today, I guess I'll go for it again. But there also looks like a little footpath over here, so this might turn out to be kind of like a poking around, trying to find new ways to get around. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. It's a beautiful, cool morning here in the San Gabriel Mountains. Always happy to come here. This is one of my favorite places, the Angeles National Forest. So I'm just looking around, seeing what kind of interesting things I can find today. Later on, it'll probably be in a separate video sequence. Later on, I'm probably going to go down by Buckhorn Campground. Look at the huge incense cedars over there. Maybe film a spotlight on trees on incense cedar down there today. Well, this doesn't look like a footpath anymore. Looks like there's a little footpath down here, actually. The first time I did those peaks, Buckhorn Peak, I think there's a turnout and a dirt road a little bit farther down along Angeles Crest Highway. You could do Buckhorn Peak from that way. It's mostly on old dirt road and Forest Service trail. But what I did is I basically went up that ramp I first showed you, that real bald ramp to get to the ridge, and then just went basically cross country to 7118. Now you can see the old Waterman Mountain ski resort right over there. So we're in a pretty popular area here in the Angeles. And we got Winston Peak right over here. Winston Ridge would be way behind it. For me, I'm just looking for some kind of adventure, a little something different. I mean, I've been to these peaks before, 7118 and Buckhorn Peak, but just wanted to see what other options there are. Maybe go a little bit differently than I did before. I guess what I'll do is just follow this gully up to the ridge. 7118 is really not a long and extenuating hike, or extensive hike, I should say. But it is kind of interesting, this area. It's a little loose here, so it's not too bad. I guess I'll just walk up this little gulch right here, this little dip. It's been a few weeks since I've been out hiking. My last hike was when I did the Cleveland National Forest video, Elsinore Peak, and later by Blue Jay Campground. That was in the Santa Ana Mountains. That was on the 29th of October, so it's been a few weeks. Coming up to the higher elevations today, because once again, down by where I live in North Orange County, it's going to be very hot today. It's supposed to be potentially in the mid-90s. So up here it'll probably be in the 60s, which is above normal for this area this time of year, but certainly a lot nicer than 90s. So I guess what I'll do, just walk up the slope, get to the ridge, and then I'll follow it along. Should be able to get to 7118. Back's a little stiff today. Been noticing it. Yesterday was a little stiff at work. I'm stiff kind of driving up here, so probably take it a little slower. But gorgeous area. It's another area I highly recommend visiting. And you got the Buckhorn, which is just maybe a couple of miles down Angeles Crest down this way. Yeah, my voice is a little raspy today because my mouth is dry. The humidity is extremely low, so my mouth is bone dry. Let's see. Make it up to this connecting ridge. Yeah, this decomposing granite definitely makes it for a little tougher to get a good foothold here, but not anticipating anything more than steep class 1, maybe a quickie class 2 at the top of Buckhorn Peak. A couple of rocks on top. Nothing crazy. But yeah, here's a little ramp. Came up this way the first time, and then instead of following this ridge cross country, if you know the area, should be fine. 7118, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple years since I've been to that peak. Should be over yonder somewhere. Sure is pretty up here. And again, here's Waterman Mountain. And then now we got Crocker Ridge over there. So sorry if there's a little bit of glare here. Crocker Ridge. And I believe that's peak 7243. It's a very random peakbagger.com peak. Very random peak. And then I've been by it, but I don't think I've been actually on the summit of it. See, last September, I parked at the Buckhorn exit ramp. There's a ramp that comes out of Buckhorn. There's a big wide area there you can park. Hiked up to 7190, which is that peak right there. Then I followed the ridge. 7243 is over there. I think I was really close to the peak of 7243, or might have been almost there, but I don't believe I actually summited. I just kind of followed the ridge and then went all the way to 3 of the summits on Waterman. You got Waterman Benchmark, which is along the east ridge of Waterman Mountain. There's a small benchmark there that says Waterman on it. Then I went to the Sierra Club HPS Waterman Mountain with the class 2 and class 3 boulders. And then I hopped across to the actual high point, which is maybe just a couple feet higher, if even that. Maybe about 2 or 3 feet higher than the HPS summit. And that's near the north end of the ski area. Or should I say the southern end of the ski area, I'm sorry. So, I'm going to keep following this ridge. 7118, like I said, it'll be somewhere out there. Add navigation around here. If you at least have a fairly decent knowledge of this area, shouldn't be a problem. Then I'm going to dip to a saddle between 7118 and Buckhorn, and then you'll come across a road that cuts perpendicular to your direction, and then a small use trail that leads up to Akawie or Buckhorn Peak. So just gonna enjoy the views, and I'll see you on the next clip, probably near the peak, 7118 summit.